jolly good morning to you all, and welcome to the Friday edition of the ICU TV Breakfast Show. Of course, where we bring you all the stories that are trending online, all stories that are making headline. And I am your host, Miriam Deborah Gamani, and I am joined today by my co-host.
I'm your co-host, Ruth Nyongo.
Yes, and on our headline picks today, we have police launch investigation into sudden death of Kawecha Kaunda in Dola, and Civil Service Commission finalizes health workers recruitment, and ERB penalizes 21 companies for regulatory violations. And in our sports news, we'll have Zambia under 15 girls fall to Ghana in CAF school semi-final. Now, you can follow our conversation on Facebook. We are live on ICU TV News, not forgetting the Information and Communications University and Zambia Research and Development Center. Drop your comment section so that it can be an interactive session. We go on a short break. We'll be right back. In Dola. The incident is believed to have occurred between the evening of April 8th and the morning of April 9th at a residence in North Rise area. Police reports indicate that the deceased, aged 67, was found unresponsive in his room after failing to respond to a knock by a domestic worker. He had arrived in Dola on April 6th and was staying at an apartment. He was later rushed to Dola Teaching Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. Now, preliminary examinations revealed no visible injuries, and the body has been placed in the hospital mortuary awaiting a post-mortem to determine the cause of death. Godfrey Chilabi, Public Relations Officer for the Zambia Police Service, confirmed that an inquiry has been opened and investigations are ongoing. Ruth, this is quite sad.
Yeah,
we're seeing one of the sons for our first Republican president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Yeah, he was just found dead in Dola. It's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. And for the past few months, we've been actually receiving stories of people just having sudden death. So I'm really sure some it's committing suicide, and some just like being killed, and this removing the manhood being. So it's really sad, and I hope the police will do the investigation and find out what really caused that death.
Exactly. We can now jump into our next story.
Okay, so for our next story, the Civil Service Commission has concluded the recruitment of 3,205 health workers aimed at strengthening service delivery in the country's health sector. This was announced during the media briefing held earlier today. So,
quite interesting. We have a number of 3,005 health workers that will be recruited just now. And now we received a press release yesterday in the evening. I'll just read it to you. The Ministry of Information and Media Zambia has announced a delay in the publication of names for newly recruited medical personnel due to a technical fault. Now, the list, which was scheduled for release on April 10th, 2026, which is today, will now be published at a later date. Now, the ministry stated that the issue has affected both Zambia Daily Mail and Times of Zambia, the designated platforms for publishing the names. Technical teams are working to resolve the problem, with the updated list expected to be released by Monday, April 13th, 2026. Now, Permanent Secretary Mr. Tabo Kawana has assured the public that the integrity of the recruitment process remains intact, and authorities have urged stakeholders to remain patient and follow official government communication channels for updates.
This is so interesting.
Yes, it is.
It's so interesting. So I think people just wait till the right time comes.
Patience pays. But it is quite disturbing at the same time, because we're having people that were like really prepared to check out for their names on various newspapers, of course Zambia Daily Mail and Times of Zambia, and then this just comes up. I was going through social media just before we came on this show. People are complaining that no, we are playing with our feelings. What is happening?
So you know what? I have one of my friends, she actually applied, and after hearing the announcement to say, oh, the date will be this day, and she was like, oh, I'm going to buy a newspaper. Things that you don't actually buy every day. I'm like, I'm going to buy a newspaper tomorrow. I'm going to buy it. So she was so ready to see if her name was actually there. Yeah, they were so anxious to know. But anyway, patience pays. Definitely the names will come out.
Monday. Well, now into our next story. The Energy Regulation Board has taken enforcement action against 29 companies for breaching license conditions and failing to meet statutory obligations. The move follows compliance audits aimed at enforcing standards under the Energy Regulation Act and strengthening oversight in the sector. Now, among the penalties, Uno Energy Zambia Limited was fined 180,000 for fuel contamination and failure to conduct quality checks, while Zesco Limited was fined 100,000 kwacha for failing to maintain safety systems. Now, other companies faced fines for construction violations and operating without required permits, with several also receiving formal warning for non-compliance with regulatory directives. Now, we are seeing a lot of fuel companies that have been given penalties, and they're like 29. And Uno Zambia, one of the famous fuel stations that we have in Zambia, and also Zesco have also been penalized. Uno has been given 180,000 and Zesco has been given 100,000, with also other companies that have been penalized because of some construction violations and also operating without required permits. It is very important that even as you are establishing your company, you follow the right procedure. You go, if you need to get permits, do that so that you can be operating as someone who is supposed to operate freely in a country that you belong to.
Yeah, I actually love the Energy Regulation Board because it's making sure that accountability is observed.
Exactly.
So they have to make sure to follow the right procedures and run the company smoothly. I like this disturbance, you're operating in a smooth way. And if you notice, when you're coming from let me say Zesco, we have I don't know how many filling stations already. We have a lot. People are just, I don't know if this is a new business, so we should all go into filling stations. So I love what the Energy Regulation Board is doing because it's showing a strong signal of accountability. And people should just follow the right procedures.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're still watching the ICTV Breakfast Show Friday edition. We take a short break. We'll be right back with more stories.
The Information and Communications University is complementing government effort in promoting legal and safe mining for all Zambians. ICU is offering a short practical training course to artisanal and small-scale miners and those who intend to venture into mining. This training covers identification of rocks and minerals, mining operations and equipment, health and safety in mining, environmental protection, licensing and compliance. Qualifications: National Registration Card NRC. Apply now at www.icuzambia.net. For more information, contact the ICU School of Mines, Department of Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining at +260 763 302 596 or +260 973 263 492. For analysis of mineral samples, contact the ICU School of Mines Laboratory at +260 973 263 492 or +260 977 833 434.
Welcome back, and you're still watching the Breakfast Show on ICU TV, which is on our Facebook and our YouTube. So we continue with the stories. The Ministry of Agriculture Zambia has announced the removal of restriction on the export of maize and milling meal, allowing traders and farmers to access both local and international marketers. So this decision is aimed at improving income and expanding opportunities within the agriculture sector. The move is expected to benefit small-scale farmers by providing competitive market access, stimulating agro-process activities, and supporting overall economic growth. So the authority says the policy will also contribute to national food security through regulated trade while ensuring farmers fully benefit from the production. So exporters are required to obtain permits through the Zambian electronic signal windows and follow established procedures at the designated exit point. So the government has urged stakeholders to comply with all regulation to ensure smooth and efficient trade operations.
It was long overdue, Ruth.
Yes,
it was long overdue.
Yes.
This is a great move for Zambia, for the Ministry of Agriculture.
Yes,
of course, it's
yes.
one of the sectors that it really brings a lot of money in our country.
Yeah, it brings a lot of income.
So now having to lift the maize export restrictions to boost farmer incomes is really a great move. And the president, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has been always talking about farming. Just venture into farming, you will never go wrong. And I mean,
it's actually a great source of income.
It is.
Because if you go to the Eastern Province and during November, if I'm not mistaken, December, where they get to farm tobacco, trust me, when it's time to export and start selling, those people make money.
Of course,
like they make a lot of money. So that's why the president has always encouraged the citizens of Zambia to always focus on farming. Yeah, you can. He didn't say you can't do other things, but at least do something like farming, like
even just a garden at the back of
your
yard.
A garden at the back of your yard.
Very important.
You can just start with today you're doing 2 tomatoes. Tomorrow you're doing 2 green pepper. You never know.
Never know. And now we jump into the other story. The Ministry of Information and Media, Zambia, has reaffirmed its commitment to media freedom and digital rights during the launch of the Freedom of Expression report in Lusaka. Now, Permanent Secretary Mr. Thabo Kawana, represented by Director for Press and Media Modern Mayembe, officiated at the event. Now, the report produced by NISA Zambia highlights gaps in Zambia's legal framework, noting the absence of a statutory definition for journalists and the lack of distinct legal protections. It further outlines that journalists operate under the same laws as ordinary citizens, including those covering privacy, defamation, and access to information. Now, the findings emphasize the need for stronger legal reforms and collaboration among stakeholders to align national laws with international standards. The government has postponed the report as a key tool in strengthening transparency and promoting media freedoms ahead of the 2026 general election. Ruth,
this is a positive signal.
It is.
This is because if you notice, we have a lot of citizen journalists, like freelancers. They get to report on issues that they don't even follow the ethical consideration of journalists. So I feel this is actually a positive signal of protecting the trained and qualified journalists,
and especially that we are approaching
the election,
the August 2026 election. It is very important that we equip these journalists with the knowledge that they need to report correctly, because there's been a lot of warning that no journalists, they are not putting in ethical considerations when they're reporting. They are not verifying their facts. So it is very important. It is a good move.
It is a good move because people get citizen journalists get to report on things that are not fact checked. So I like it. I like it. In fact, they should also take accountable if like someone just posts something that don't even follow the ethical considerations of journalists. Because I feel like 85% are those journalists who just go on and don't follow the ethical consideration. They're not professional trained, and so I like what the government is actually doing. Okay, so we continue with the stories. The Ministry of Tourism Zambia has introduced three new statutory instruments aimed at boosting wildlife conservation, protecting heritage sites, and promoting sustainable tourism. The measures were issued by Tourism Minister Rodley Mulindi Sikumba on April 9, 2026 in Lusaka. So one of the instruments declares Mutanondo Falls in national momentum, recognizing an ecological and cultural value. Additional regulation tightened control on lion and leopard. Trophy hunting, including restriction on hunting specific animals and the use of certain methods while reinforcing monitoring and quota system. So further changes strengthen Zambia's compliance with the convention and international trade in that endangered species by improving wildlife trade regulation. So the new measures are expected to enhance diversity protection, promoting tourism growth, and support community livelihood through sustainable practices.
Very good move.
Yeah.
One of the instruments that have been declared, we have Mutinando's Falls as a national monument.
Yes.
It is really good because we are having a lot of heritage sites in Zambia, exactly, but they are actually having names that are foreign.
Yes.
So having such instruments like declared,
yes,
on some of the sites that we have is very important and very key to economic growth and just recognizing what we have as a nation, just our national heritage, and also just considering the communities around those areas, how they are benefiting with the natural resources that we are having as a country.
Yeah, so like just using our names like in Zambia, and like just using foreign names, I think it can actually attract more tourists, because you can't get a name from, let me say we get a name from America, then we want to name it, like we put it as a Zambian thing. So it's really good to actually also observe our culture, and yeah, just using our names.
And it just made me think about something very interesting. We have this Ghana content creator. We had Goshas, but now the other friend, I've just forgotten his name.
Okay, yeah.
So he's currently in Livingstone. He was in Livingstone, and he visited the Victoria Falls. And then he was like, "Why did you name it the Victoria Falls when the citizens of Zambia, people from Livingstone, are the ones who took him to go and name it? Why not just name it Shungo na Mutitima?"
Yeah.
Or so
it's so interesting.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are going to take a short break, and we'll be back with our fitness minute. So do stay tuned.
Thank you for staying tuned with us. You're still watching The Breakfast Show, and I'm your co-host, Ruth Nirongo. So we'll dive into our health test. So our health topic today will be on menstrual health. So Mimi, what do you really understand like when someone says menstrual health?
Menstrual health is the ability of a woman, a lady, a girl child having access to some necessities that will help them have their menstrual periods in a good way. And that includes pads and just anything that they can need. Medicine, we have those people that really have like yes. So them being able to have access to medicine, pads is
and I love this initiative where they had to bring free pads, because a lot of people, a lot of young girls were unable, like, okay, let me say in rural areas, they were unable like to access some pads where we used to buy like 25 kwacha. You'd find periods comes that month and you don't have money. What do you do? So so I love the initiative that they brought, like to bring free pads. So it actually going to help them.
And it's really good that we're having people that are being innovative now. They are making reusable pads that you can buy, you use, you wash them, and you can use them again on your next menstrual cycle. So
it's actually a great initiative. So remember, while you are on your period, you have to be menstrual hygiene. Make sure you bath at least 3 times in a day. Change your pads. If you're using your reusable pads, please get to wash them. You put them on the sun, they dry to avoid some infections. And just be clean.
Yes, indeed. And we're going to take our last break, and once we are back, we will be talking on what's trending on social media. Just stay with us.
We kickstart your day with our headline pick with the top stories making news.
Then we go deeper in our story pick, where we break down issues that matter the most to you.
From the Health Desk, we share simple tips to keep you healthy and informed.
For Classic Fitness Minute, to get your body moving before the day begins.
And trending now, what's hot on social media?
Hello Zambia, my name is Amina Mutambo.
And I am Moluwa Eric J. Mwanamajende, and we bring to your screens the ICU TV Breakfast Show.
Well, thank you so much for being with us, and now we go right into what's trending on social media. And social media is always buzzing with stories
every day.
Stories. I saw a meme that was shared on social media. They showed what trended in Zambia in January, in February, in March, in April. Now we're having this.
It's like every month we just have something trending.
Exactly. And now on our today's on what's trending on social media, we have over 200 Matero boys pupils suspended for missing school prayer day.
Okay, so Matero Boys is a Catholic school. Yeah, Matero Boys is a Catholic school. And I remember the time I was in grade 8, 9, I was at the Catholic school, and Catholic has rules. You have to follow them. So if they say 8 hours, you have to, after having your breakfast, you have to go for mass. Like everyone. Doesn't matter
mandatory.
It doesn't matter whether you are Muslim, whether you are STA, whether you have to attend.
As long as you are pupil there, you have to follow the rules.
You have to follow the rules and go to mass every 8 hours. So for these guys, missing prayer is, for them, I don't know if they feel like it's an insult or something. Like, why would you?
Probably, because every institution, every school, we have our own rules that we're supposed to follow.
Exactly.
And it really got bad to the point of these pupils missing their end of term exams. Now we've been seeing a lot of people condemning this act, but then the school is also coming on board saying, no, we have the rules that we set as a school, and the pupils are supposed to follow it. So in as much as parents and guardians are complaining, but we also have regulations that every pupil is supposed to follow at the end of the day.
Yes, exactly. So when you know that you're taking your child at the Catholic school, just know their rules and they have to follow them. If you're at the boarding, trust me, they chase if you don't follow their rules. So Catholic are really strict when it comes to it. When they say, no, it's time for novena, you have to pray the rosary. Whether you're what, you have to pray. You have to know the rosary. Even know the Our Father, Hail Mary, you have to know everything. So just a friendly advice. If you know that you're taking your child on you, or maybe you say, no, next year I'm going at the Catholic school, said what, just know you have to follow the Catholic rules. Yes, so we dive into our next story on what's trending on social media. Pompey saga attracts CCPCS attention.
Just for confirmation, as ICU TV, we don't close at 16:45. We are a 24 hours TV station.
This is so fun.
24 hours TV station.
Yeah, we don't actually close at 16:40. We're a 24 hours TV station. So I've been seeing people making trends, like they'll put filters of them having like a crocodile on their face. And they're like, Wakamba, who wants to come and see her? Should we come out from the water? And no, it's 16:40.
I find this quite interesting.
Yeah, it was actually so interesting. So like I wouldn't say Pompey did a bad thing by posting. It's actually a good advantage because it was more like advertising for them.
It wasn't marketing.
Marketing for them. But the fact is, those guys, they close at 17 hours, and that 20 minutes, it's just time for them to take back the crocodile in the water, start preparing to knock off, and you start like touring someone, So it wasn't really a bad thing for him to complain, but it's a good thing for the company because it was marketing for them. But the time was just too little, 20 minutes.
Now, this same issue has gotten the attention for the CCPCS.
Yes.
So now they are investigating into the matter, trying to find out what really happened, what really conspired. So it has been making trends on social media. Everybody's talking about it. It's quite interesting. And we are also seeing how influential Pompey is.
Exactly.
Because it's being talked on every platform. I saw a post. It stated that they had put Crocs and they used AI. You just know how AI. So Crocs were singing. They were busy saying, no, mostly in your songs you say rats, and not Crocs.
So don't be surprised if we're actually advertising ICU TV and we put one of our casters in a Croc, so you know that we're talking about the Pompey story.
The Pompey story.
Yes.
Wow. Now this is where we get to wrap up the Friday editions of the ICU TV breakfast show. It was lovely being here, having to interact with you people in the comment section, just having to share with you stories that are really making trends in our country and just everywhere else. I was your host, Miriam Deborah Gamani.
And I was your co-host, Ruth Nyrongo.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
We kickstart your day with our headline pick with the top stories making news.
Then we go deeper in our story pick where we break down issues that matter the most to you.
From the help desk, we share